Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host, Dr. Amber Q, and today I want to delve into the compelling theme of helping a stranger and how small acts can spark, I think, quite monumental changes in our world. So let me start by sharing a story, something that happened to me recently, last week in fact. And so it was raining. And of course, I'm really excited about the rain these days because I have a new raincoat and a hat. And I wasn't wearing the hat because the raincoat has an amazing hood on it. Anyway, so I was wearing my waterproof shoes, my raincoat, and it was raining. And I was like, hey, I don't mind. It's raining. It's great. And so I was going for a walk and I saw this gentleman as I approached the common. I saw this gentleman trying to speak to somebody, and the person just kind of brushed him off and carried on walking. And I thought to myself, oh, I wonder what's going on there. That's not very nice for the other person to brush this person off, because this gentleman in question had a small suitcase. So I thought, oh, it looks as if he is a traveller or a visitor to my part of London. Anyway, so as I approached, he asked me for help. He asked me for directions. And of course, I was happy to help. So he was looking for a particular road, and it's quite interesting because it's very green where I am, and it can be a little bit confusing. We were by the common, and you know how sort of, I think Google Maps, you know, when you've got a windy road and you've got trees, and it can be quite difficult to figure out where you are, especially as it transpired if you're from a different country. Of course, I didn't know this initially. So he asked me for directions and he was looking at his phone and he was a bit confused. So I looked at the address on my phone and it was kind of not particularly helpful, I think, if you're a stranger. And so I thought to myself, okay, we're in a public place and this guy doesn't know where he's going. He's got a suitcase. And, you know, I'm not in a rush. I may as well sort of show him the way. That'll be my good deed of the day. So I said to him, I'll show you where to go. He was like, are you sure? I'm not going to take you out your way. I said, don't worry. Honestly, I was going for a walk. So then we started walking and we started chatting. And it turns out that he'd actually travelled from a university in China. He'd gone to Spain, and now he was staying in London for one night at an Airbnb, and then he was going to Oxford University, and he was doing some research there. So he was there for, I'm not sure how long, a couple of weeks or something, or a week or whatever, maybe before he went on to another university. And it was just so interesting. So we started speaking about his area of expertise, which was, I think, international relations. And of course, we spoke about Palestine and things. And it was just a really lovely conversation. He was a lovely guy. And to be honest, it didn't take that long to get to the street that he wanted. So I guided him to the street, and then I left him at the top of the street, and he was saying that his host will be surprised because I think he had told her that he was lost and he was going to find his way. And it was just so nice to help him. He was a lovely gentleman, and I thought, my gosh, he must be tired. And it was raining, of course, as well. I was really happy to help him. And we just had a really interesting conversation as well. Obviously, it wasn't a very long conversation because it just took 5 minutes or so. But I was really happy. And as I left him, you know, I had a skip in my step because I'd helped someone. And this is the thing. I think it's so uplifting to help people. As we kind of departed, you know, he was kind of like, oh, God bless you, God bless you. And I was like, honestly, I'm happy to help. But I think, you know, it uplifted him, it uplifted me. And I hope it uplifts you as well. I know, of course, all my listeners are lovely people, so I'm sure you all engage in your own acts of kindness. But I really thought to myself, isn't it amazing how a simple gesture can just lift someone's day, both his day and my day, and depending on what you're doing, it can really ripple across communities. We've seen this on various social media accounts where, people go out to help strangers, and then they'll have a kind of GoFundMe page or whatever, and people donate, and it just touches lives, beyond that sort of initial act. When the guy goes back, finds the person and says, oh, people have donated, and it's so lovely. It's so, it's like the essence of altruism, just that powerful force for good, proving even the smallest act can have a substantial impact. And we know, don't we, the psychological benefits of helping others. It's not just beneficial for the person that has been helped. It's, the research shows that if we engage in acts of kindness, it boosts our own mental health and happiness. And of course, in psychology, this is called the helper's high. It's that warm, euphoric feeling you get after doing something good for someone else. It's like me skipping down the street after seeing that lovely gentleman, and this positive feedback loop, it encourages more kindness, right? So it's kind of like if somebody gives you way in the road, you will want to do the same for someone else. It creates that cycle of goodwill and personal fulfillment. And I think the thing is that, the research does show that it's not just a feel-good phenomenon. Doing these good actions actually lights up the reward centers in our brain. And it's similar to the effects of meditation or exercise. And I think, we need this more than ever now. We know what's happening in Palestine. We know what's happening in the world. And we know that when we come together to help those in need, we don't just give immediate relief to the people that are being helped in terms of whether it's food or a blanket, but it just fosters that resilient spirit within communities. And I think that I've always been an advocate of volunteering and doing things, and certainly in Islam as well, in terms of engaging in acts of kindness. Simply a smile is known as charity. And we know that kindness is contagious, to be honest. And small actions can have a significant impact on someone's day. And as we know, there's so many terrible things happening in the world, and an act of kindness is even raising awareness about what is happening. So the broader impact is that if we inform others about those in need and what is actually happening, we can basically create a ripple effect and have stronger, more connected communities. And we can prioritize compassion, and this is going to help not only the people that we're helping, but also our own well-being, and that can help society collectively. And what I really want to say is that, in Islam, it's so interesting because when you actually give sadaqah or charity, you are benefited more than the person to whom you are giving a donation of whatever. And instead of actually giving it above, you actually give it so that so say there's someone in the street and you're going to give them some money. What you would do is, rather than putting it in their hand, you actually do it you have your hand under their hand, because really they are the ones that are benefiting you. So maybe you are benefiting them in this world, but in the hereafter, and the afterlife, which is for eternity, they will actually be standing up and saying that you helped them. So they're helping you for eternity. So it's really quite amazing. I mean, I love Islam for so many reasons, but it's really quite incredible. But I think the main fact is that there are so many people that we can help. And it doesn't need to just be financially. You can spread the word, as I was saying, raise awareness about anyone that needs help, whether it's a neighbour, whether it's, I don't know, a food bank that's in your community. Maybe you can't even donate to the food bank, but you can raise awareness about that on social media. You can raise awareness about what's happening to Palestinians and just spread the word. There's an amazing app called No Thanks that I use, actually, which I really, really love. And I will attach it in the show notes. It's a really great app. Please have a look at it on the App Store. I use it myself to make sure that I'm buying ethical products, and it works worldwide. So it's really brilliant. And yeah, I think that we can make a better world, and we need to make a better world, because honestly, the way the future is moving, you know, people need to foster that community spirit, and we need to help others. And as they say, none of us are free until all of us are free. Let's create connection by reaching out and helping a stranger or even a neighbour. And let's all remember the power we each hold to make the world a better place. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who might find it interesting. And until the next episode, let's all create connection and not just change lives, but save lives.